Hi, my name is Jorg Neumann. I'm the executive producer of Zoo Tycoon. The Zoo Tycoon on Xbox One is a reimagined version of Zoo Tycoon. The series started in 2001 on the PC, and then we had a sequel in 2004. And the last expansion came out in 2008, and ever since then people asked us, when are you going to make another one, when are you going to make another one? And we actually started on one about 2009 for a little bit, and then Kinect came out. And we looked at our animals, and we had like some crocodiles and stuff, and we said, what are we going to do with those? And ultimately decided to make a Kinect game that was called Kinectimals, which essentially took the tiger and the lions and basically made a game out of that. And then, then we got a little bit delayed because we made a Disneyland game and another Pixar game. But now with Xbox One, we're finally feeling like this is the right time to bring Zoo Tycoon back to the fans. And the game is very referential to the original games. They were very popular, like 8 million units were sold, and they have 3 different modes, and we kept those. There's a freeform mode, which is essentially like a creative mode. So there's the sim is mostly off, so you have infinite money, so you can really just build the most beautiful zoo that you can and fill it up with animals you love, and basically have just fun. Then there's a challenge mode, which you get short challenges every 10-15 minutes. You have something to overcome, you get an achievement for that. And then there's a full-on campaign, as hardcore as it gets, honestly, as a sim. Takes the best of us 15 hours to get through it, and you really have to manage tightly what's going on in the zoos. And the meta game loop of the game is, it's basically build the perfect zoo and fill it out with the animals you love and get close to those animals. And the first thing you need to do is make the animals happy. There's any number of things that make animals happy. They have social needs and hunger needs and playfulness needs and all those things. You need to basically build those environments for them that they're really happy animals. And when the animals are happy, you attract more guests to your zoo. Guests are happy. And when guests are happy, they give you donations. And with those donations, you can build more enclosures, more habitats, more items in the zoo, and get also more animals. And we have tons of those. We have over 100 different animal species, so it's 3 times more than any other Zoo Tycoon game ever. And it's the biggest zoos ever. And as we were thinking about Xbox One, like what can we do with this next generation of hardware? And there were basically 5 things that came to mind. The first one is, by far, the most beautiful animals ever made in gaming. Well, we did a pretty good job, we felt, with Kinectimals. They're pretty. But now we basically it's a 1080p game, and the animals just look lifelike and amazing. Then the second thing we wanted to do is build the largest zoos ever. So zoos in the past were like a few hundred meters square, and now we have 4 square kilometers. It's by far bigger than any zoo in the real world, so you can have literally thousands of things, thousands of animals. It's huge. So those are the things that the graphic power of Xbox really gets you. Then we have Kinect. The second generation of Kinect allows us to do things we've never been able to do before. Like you can see fingers and you can see eye movement, and when you smile, the animals come up all the way close to the screen and they smile, and if you wink, they wink. So it's an emotional connection that was never possible before. And then we have the cloud and Xbox Live. And these Tycoon games, Zoo Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon, those games are all single player games. And now with Xbox, we have a community and we can share our zoos. So our zoos, you can upload them to the cloud, invite all your friends, and then 4 people can play together at the same time. And it's basically your cooperative zoo, which is really cool. Like I was showing a zoo earlier, it was a guy in England made yesterday. I showed it here today. I keep building on it. I'll send it back for him tomorrow. And we can just keep going. And what that also gives us with that community is we can engage the community in what we call community events. And there's basically rallying points for the community that are related to one of the main objectives of zoos, which is conservation. Like in the real world, as you probably know, there's animals getting killed for all the wrong reasons all the time. Like the rhinos are currently really in danger in Africa. So we pay attention to that. And when they say there's such a bad event that's happened, we write a community message and say, did you see what's happening? We need to do something. And then we can rally as a community and say, let's release 1,000 rhinos to our virtual wild. And when that is accomplished, Microsoft gives money to a real-world conservation effort that then helps repopulate the world with rhinos in Africa. So it's I always say, I've been in games for 20 years. I think it's the best feature I've ever worked on because we're finally giving something back to the real world. So it's really meaningful. The other thing we also have is there's conservation and education. So we work with National Geographic on something called Zoopedia, which is essentially a sort of a fact book of animals. You can look up any animal that we have, where they live, how they live, what they like, fun facts, habitat maps, and how they're endangered and whatnot. Because we really want to help educate people about animals and how to treat them best and what makes them happy in the real world. So we do both of those things, and overall we're super happy with where the game landed. It's beautiful, you know, thanks to the 1080p, and it's great fun to play.